Nigga, we ain't gotta be nice. Nigga, we ain't gotta sell drugs. Nigga, we really rock right, nigga. Nigga, we truly godlike, nigga. Nigga, we been building space stations. Nigga, we are the United Nations. Nigga, the globe is too small, nigga. Niggas will always run y'all, nigga. Nigga, we are worth support, nigga. Nigga, we really are important, nigga. Peace, black people. We are important. We are worth supporting. You tuned into the Elevation Sessions, motivated by my book, 200 Years from Niggas to God, the Guide to Becoming a Mature Nation. This session is built around chapter 3, getting to know your neighbor, and it's about emotional intelligence and cultural connection that shape us as people. So we're talking about getting to know your neighbor, not just about in proximity, but we're talking about empathy, trust, and the work that takes to build to strong, safe spaces. Today, I got my cousin Jacqueline from Detroit. She's a principal out in Detroit.
It's my pleasure to join you tonight. I really enjoyed reading your book, and I think that it can really bring a higher level of understanding and change to our community. And Detroit is definitely in need of some of that elevation.
Oh, thank you. Wow, appreciate that. You know what? We're gonna get into the leadership and the listening aspect of it. So, like, as a principal out there, what does emotional intelligence look like for you in a school setting, and why do you feel that that's important in Black communities?
So when I think about emotional intelligence, I think about the ways that our students really they come from more than just an academic aspect. So when you think about school, people think about just the ABCs and one, two, threes. And with students, it is essential that in an urban school setting that our students, they really have to become self-aware. It is very tough in urban settings. Our students, I feel, come from a lot of trauma. And so a lot of what they're experiencing really comes out in their being. So when I think about emotional intelligence, I think about students and their self awareness about who they are and what they're going through and how that might impact the others around them. When I think about it in our school, I think about teachers learning how to help students become self aware. I think about students learning how to regulate their emotions and how them learning how to regulate their emotions comes from also from those modeling around them. So myself as well as staff modeling what that looks like to regulate your emotions in tough situations.
Right.
And that helps set the tone for safety and emotional stability to all of those around us. And really connected with that also is empathy. I want to be empathetic to my students' situations, but I do not want to lower my expectations for them
Right.
because they definitely need to get the social skills to be successful in the greater society. And it's important that they build their resilience in how they handle situations. And so it is a full scale of teaching them about their emotions, how to regulate their emotions, how to recognize their emotions, but also the adults interacting with them, responding appropriately to that, and still treating them as young, growing individuals who are still learning and growing.
You're looking for themselves.
Yes.
Right. Well, I mean, it seems like, I mean, to do that, like, you have to understand what's going on. You have to understand your staff. You have to understand families. You have to understand the student. And I'm wondering, what helped you develop that ability to listen so deeply, to understand, and to figure out where to apply your help?
I really believe that it came from and comes from intentional relationship building. I really work to build trusting, empathetic, purposeful relationships with my students, my staff, and my families.
Mm-hmm.
I I feel like when I first started in leadership, I was listening to not necessarily understand, but to respond. And so really learning how to actively listen and be present, because I think that building that trust is people want to be seen, they want to be heard. And
Right.
students can sometimes come from places where they are acting out on emotions, but they're not being heard. They don't really know. And so, really coming from that, you got to be consistent with your communication with people, how you adapt your messaging, being transparent, and trying to be inclusive in those conversations about what's really going on, and having that shared, some of those shared values and visions on what we want for our children. And
Right.
I treat my kids at school and my families as if they are family. They are a part of my family, and I treat
Right.
the children as my own children. And so, wanting what's best for them, making sure that I'm culturally responsive, and if I have teachers that are not from the greater African American community, it is helping them recognize diverse backgrounds, diverse identities,
Right.
and recognizing and celebrating our traditions, our languages, our perspectives for our students and families. And I think really being consistent in trying to engage them, and being very compassionate, especially there's a lot of trauma going on. And I think people bring a lot of, try to bring conflict. And I try to be a modicum of decorum and make sure I maintain my professionalism and pack my patience, because, as I call it, people always want me to come out of my character, but I
Right.
always want to model what I want from my children and what I expect from them. And so I really feel like that genuine connection, being very intentional in that relationship building, is a huge piece to that puzzle, and has helped me be very successful with my families.
Wow. That sounds like amazing and great work. But I was wondering, when you were talking about you having more than just the greater African American community at your fingertips there, I was wondering, like, how are the kids? Are they coming together culturally? Are there any things that the kids are doing to exchange cultural awareness so that they can kind of see what you're doing, and can kind of help each other grow in that kind of way? Is any of that going on, or how do you feel about that?
So I think, as a part of our school mission is that we want our students to be global citizens. And
Hmm.
so we do some basic kinds of things, as well as like international days and celebrating different cultures and different we have different students from different cultures, recognizing their holidays, recognizing different traditions that people have. But in a school, to be well rounded, you have to come a little bit on a higher level, where we do a lot of engagement events where we bring in people from,
Hmm.
whether it's career days even, or whether it is, we want to make sure our kids are experiencing it not just academically, but on those social aspects and those spiritual aspects, and
Right.
giving them opportunities to um, reflect on what's in the greater community, what they've been
Hmm.
exposed to. But a part of it is, for my students, they got to be exposed. They are not
Right.
always exposed to a lot of things. And so, exposing them to different people, different cultures, different aspects of culture, I think has broadened their horizons in a lot of ways. They sometimes we just stay in our neighborhood.
Right.
And
Right.
so, our students, we, this past week, we just went to Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
And
That was the DC trip.
that was our DC trip for 8th grade,
Mhm.
as our
Right.
senior trip. And I thought it was really essential that we go to the African American History Museum and
Hmm.
experience all of those aspects of their culture, and seeing it and seeing the looks on their faces. They not even as aware of their own Black history
Right.
as I want them to be, or get them exposed to, because luckily in Detroit we have a great museum as well, but our kids don't know their own history. It's hard
Right.
to get to know the other cultures if you don't
Right.
even know your own. And so
Correct.
they need that, and they need to know who they are and where we
Correct.
come from as a people in order to grow into who they can truly become.
Correct. That's why I wrote in my book, a community built on ignorance is weak, divided, suspicious, and fragile. And so, it's more about connection, and you can't fix what you don't understand. And so, if kids, even having trouble understanding themselves, like you said, how can they, reach out and branch out to others and understand different cultures? But I believe that growing up, even if it's in your own community, you have different cultures, and so you have those different experiences to live on and to ride with as you're coming up. And so like communities, oftentimes the hood or the projects has many different communities in it, and I really feel like what I want out of this book is to say that we have to learn more of other communities and other cultures. And right from, a young age, you can start
Mhm.
to understand different cultures, because like you're saying, in your one neighborhood, that doesn't allow you to grow. That doesn't allow you to see different things in different cultures. I mean, you might have a problem that someone of a different culture can really help you understand and make you see it in a different way and help you grow. And so those are the things that I'm trying to do with my book here. Again, 200 years from niggas to God, the guide to becoming a mature nation. And so, we get into kind of the next part, which is about, building bridges between people. And so, how do you create a culture of trust when the system is often working against our people?
Well, I think part of it is it's a necessity that students have to have a basis of when you go to school, part of my job is to grow them academically.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to learn how to think on their own. I need students, like when I think about how we can branch out for other cultures, we have to take into account the idea of students taking ownership of their own learning, their own knowledge, and teaching them
Correct.
how to think and think outside the box. Maybe, like you said, there are ways that we can work collectively with other cultures or people from other communities to help grow and build what we really need. We have to have this respect, this aspect of being respectful and inclusive in this whole community. And how do we teach our students to do that in in our microcosm of your own school? And so
Mm-hmm.
small things that we do community service within our school. We try to grow and build and learn, like, we do Black History Month programs, we do projects, um, we celebrate like each of the cultural months that celebrate different people and try to learn a little bit about other people. And in my school currently, we have a large number of international teachers. Those are teachers from the Philippines primarily. We have,
Mm-hmm.
as well as some teachers from South Africa. And so we've been trying to build in ways that just in our own little experience, some of our students have never had, which is an amazing thing. Many of them have never had teachers that are outside of African American or Caucasian teachers.
Right.
And so branching out so that they can learn some of the facets of the lives of the students. And even my own children go to a school that is has a lot of international students. And
Mm-hmm.
so just learning and growing from each other in language, learning customs, learning about the food
Correct.
they eat. And they have shown our students some of the small things that they do that help them bond together
Mm-hmm.
community, and how they can share their traditions and their love and their being with each other. And our kids had never experienced that, and they're very open to the questions. We got to keep
Mm-hmm.
kids' minds thinking and discovering different ways of thinking, because our kids just my kids, their exposure. So I also think about it on a we use the social sciences, so social studies has been a
Mm-hmm.
huge piece for us to not just explore the past of our own culture, but it's helping them to grow and learn about the development of other cultures, other nations, and some of their tenets and facets, learn about some of their religions. I think that's been
Hmm.
very essential, as well as their social structures and how to build the kind of respect and empathy for the different things that cultures have gone through. Like our kids, we read a book and the kids didn't know that there had been a war in the Philippines, and
Hmm.
how some of our teachers had had some adversity that was similar to theirs, and they were able to bond over like some of the kind of traumatic experiences they had, and
Right,
how did they work and grow from it.
right, right,
And
right.
so a teaching tool and a perfect like opportunity for our students to be like, we're not as different as we might always think we are, and
Correct. I was now that sounds like a beautiful education point.
Look at yourself right now. Who are you? More importantly, who do you want to be? Every day you make choices. Every day you move. But are you really living or just existing? You were never meant to be stuck. You were never meant to just survive. You were built to build, to lead, to master. Enough. The difference between staying the same and leveling up is one decision. One moment when you say, no more. I refuse to stay here. 200 years from niggas to gods. The transformation starts now.
Now, do you feel like the students are really getting something out of that? I know that they are, but do you feel a sense they're really understanding what they're actually getting with that, understanding these different cultures? And yes, you're bonding over this. And do you see any difference in someone who possibly hasn't had such that connection?
I'm gonna say it's on a, I'd say on the surface, still on a kind of a surface level, only because I think about how students are, we're trying to, the first year we had international teachers was really tough. And I felt like we had to create a lot of opportunities to get to know other cultures, because our community was not very open to differences and different people.
Mhm.
And so I think that our kids really are more understanding, even in simple things like dress, even in simple things like the food that we eat. Our
Mhm.
students are on it's a surface level still, but it's gaining depth, if that makes sense. Meaning, they by our teachers opening up more about their families, about their history, about their past, that's helping the students really build some of those relationships, because I am very touchy feely, huggy, kissy, and love you as a mother type of person. Um, our international teachers were not that way. And so learning how our kids really bond over whether it's a high five, a fist bump, a hug, those types of things, even something as small as that has really taught them how those things really make a difference for our kids. Our kids will run up
Right,
and just jump in your arms, hug you at any moment, and really feeling like our kids have a connection to them, and it's an emotional connection.
right, right. So that sounds like that's how communities heal. It sounds like that's how our
It,
children can thrive. And that's what I see you creating inside of your school. So I'm glad that I can hear that those things are happening, and that our kids, our African American kids are getting exposed to different cultures and different understanding, different customs, so that maybe they can pass on that. Not pass on it as customs, but just to pass it on to help understand as we grow together. And so I was wondering, what does a mature school look like to you? Not just academically, but socially and spiritually.
um, a mature school to me is an ever evolving school. It isn't going to be perfect, but it should be purpose driven. Students should be self aware. It should be constantly growing. I feel like we should um, be rooted in purpose and values. Socially, it should be relational and have that emotional maturity where It is service minded, has belonging and inclusion. It's teaching students accountability, conflict resolution. It's maintaining those, like, not just the high academic standards, but those social norms, making sure we have clear a moral and a spiritual foundation. I really feel like it's not like religious instruction, but it's just like how people make decisions and how people are to be treated. I think students, it's about their character and their development of, we do like core values at our school, so that whole character and virtue development and teaching the social skills right alongside of those academic skills is huge. And just that respect for, like, things you don't know, and
Right.
that ability to have inquiry, ask questions, and not have fear, but to have that open intellectual conversation where kids are compassionate individuals who are ready to move into the world and lead in the world, serve in the world, but they're capable humans,
Right.
not just these. I need them to be freer thinkers. We're very
Right.
rigid in our educational experience. And we've got to teach our kids to be thinkers and think outside the box and not just be robots.
So then what would be one message you would want to instill into every child, Black child that walks through your school doors? What would be that one message you would want every child, Black, white, wherever, to, when they walk through your doors, this is the message?
An important message I think that should be instilled in children is, they are deeply valued,
Right.
they are richly capable, and they're born with a purpose.
Correct.
Um, excuse me, but
Got you.
like, their heritage carries this strength and this resilience and this brilliance. And the world may not always recognize your worth, but that doesn't diminish it. I want them to really know who they are, know where they come from, and who they can truly be. I want them to be able to be a person that can stand in their truth with pride, dignity, and hope. They are our future, and
Right.
we have got to develop that within them, or where's our legacy? Where are we going to be?
Right. Right. Because I truly believe that all people are here. We all just want to leave this place a better place for our future, which is the children behind us. And
Yeah,
so I think if we all can kind of continue doing that and understanding all these different cultures and customs, the message will just reign supreme over all, that, we are all united, we all one. And I think that we're going to get kind of more closer to being more of a human race than a this race, because I really truly do believe that we're all more alike than different,
absolutely,
right?
100%.
So, my chapter 3 reminds us that the most revolutionary act you can commit is to understand your own people. And that kind of clarity kind of breeds strength. And I believe that what you're doing is exactly that, helping young people understand themselves and the community they come from so that they can lead with pride instead of pain. I'm going to give a big shout out to my cousin Jacqueline for showing us what strong, intentional leadership looks like. And if this conversation resonated with you, please get the collector's edition of 200 Years from Niggas to God, the guide to becoming a mature nation. You'll get the ebook, the audiobook, the artwork, and a soundtrack, all designated to help you build self-awareness and elevate how you show up in your own community. So peace, Black people. We are important. We are worth supporting. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you for having me. I wanted to tell you, I met a man in the gas station, and a
Right,
gentleman was talking to me about, he had read like 700 days in a row of Bible verses, and he was really just like wanting to uplift and make sure we're all taking care of ourselves. And
right,
I went and grabbed a couple of your flyers for him to take with him, because he's a moving company, and he was just like, instantly, he's like, I love this artwork. It really resonates with me. It really just
right,
shows me where people can go and where they need to get to. And he said that we each need to work to build each other up and elevate each other and support each other, no matter
right,
if we know each other or not. And it was just in a Detroit gas station around the corner in the hood. And he was just
Right.
like, I said, hold on, let me grab this for you. And he's like, oh yeah. And he took the time, and we
That's
had
beautiful.
like a 5 minute conversation about spirituality and how we as a community need to collectively help each other grow.
Right.
And so
Right.
I was moved by that because, I've been
That's
handing
what
him
we need.
out, and he was just like, no, 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 I'll wait for you. Hold on. And I gave him to him, and he just instantly was like on board.
Right. Well, right on. Thank you for that. I'm glad that he got on board. I hope he ended up reading it, and I hope we can reach out to him one day and maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, I
see what
have
he
his
feels about it.
information. He told me to get back with him in a couple weeks, and so
Yeah.
I'll definitely do that. I just need our people to like continue to grow, and for me to have positive interaction. Sometimes people are like, you know what, you make sure you don't stop at this gas station, or make sure you don't do this. I said, I'm
Right.
safe. I said, I'm
Right.
always safe, and I'm always
100%.
like in the daylight and different things because I'm still a woman
Right.
in the hood. But it always reminds me when I see those people that are really doing their thing, how we really need to work and support each other, and not
Correct.
just put our heads down and walk past somebody, but say hello. And if they have a message to give you, you can't just walk away and not receive it.
Exactly. Because we all people. You know what I'm
We are
saying?
all people at the
We
end of the
all
day.
people. You know what I mean? And we all have bad days. I was telling somebody a billionaire and a bum has a bad day. They're just different, but we all have good and bad days. And we all need to support each other through those good and bad days.
And
All
if we supported each other more, where could we be, and what could we do for the world?
right.
So
Thanks, Cuzzo. Thanks.